futile because the harm is going to happen anyway. But what these arguments ignore is just how lethal firearms are. Here's one example from the many depressing statistics on suicide in America, which has been discussed already this afternoon as highly relevant to this issue of gun storage. The National Institute of Mental Health estimates that there are approximately 11 suicide attempts for each attempt that results in a fatality. Otherwise stated, only about 1 in 10 suicide attempts actually succeeds, except with firearms. A person who decides to take their life with a firearm will generally succeed in doing so over 90% of the time. This means that many people who would have survived a suicide attempt and gone on to hopefully receive the help they needed will instead tragically end their lives. And because of the particularly impulsive nature of the developing adolescent brain, many of the lives lost will be teens and children. We also know accidents with firearms are among the worst, especially when they involve children. The statistics sadly speak for themselves. As a nation, we average about 1 child unintentionally shooting themselves or someone else per day, every day. Roughly 3/4 of these incidents occur in the home. Just under 600 children commit suicide with a firearm every year, and most often use guns belonging to a family member. Unsecured firearms also fuel gun violence outside the home. In incidents of firearm violence in our schools, 3/4 of underage shooters obtain their guns from their own home, a relative's home, or from friends. Thankfully, we can take action to prevent this public health epidemic of suicide and accidental injury and death by firearm. As more states have moved to adopt safe storage laws, we've seen an emerging link between common sense, modest requirements for responsible firearm storage, and a reduction in firearm-related fatalities. A firearm is a deadly weapon. It makes sense to require people who own them to take simple measures that reflect that reality. And we are all safer when guns are stored safely.
Excuse me, Madam Attorney General.